Okay, hi Hemma. Great to have you here with us. Let's start off with an introduction. Who are you and what are you doing?
Hi, good morning, Thomas. My name is Hemma Bieser. I'm the founder and owner of Avantsmart. We are an innovation and consulting company. And what we basically do is we are helping companies and startups to bring their business ideas or their technologies into the market. So our main focus is business model innovation.
I understand. And tell me a little bit about, so this means you have a very broad perspective on the market and see a lot of things. Tell us a bit, what are kind of like those startups right now on your radar, which you consider particularly very interesting, and why?
Okay. We're here now at the first Mission Innovation Austria week. So we are working here in the field of renewable energies and new energy systems. And during the last days at the conference, we had some interesting also startup presentations here. For example, there's Twinks. They started a few years ago to analyze energy consumption data. And they set their focus now on data analytics. Another startup is EET. It's a young startup from Graz. What they developed is a micro power plant which everybody can install on his balcony. And it's a really plug-and-play solution.
I understand. And you say that you are basically taking on their business models and make sure that it's meaningful. What is your process here?
I like very much design processes, tools, methodology. So I think everybody knows in the startup community the lean startup approach combined with design thinking and agile development. Yeah, and basically we go through the whole process, through all the iterations several times. So sometimes we really start with the technology, looking for a business model. Yeah, and going out and looking for the customers, for example. So drafting the personas, the customer profiles, making assumptions, and then we really go out doing field testing also, and to get insights from the customer feedback, how to improve the first ideas of the business model.
Makes a lot of sense. And what do you see, what are the main challenges these guys, particularly startups, but also big companies that try to innovate, what are the main challenges they are facing?
I think talking about the energy sector and the energy transition, we have the main challenge that energy is still very, very cheap. I mean, we have a very engaged community here. So these green pioneers who really make great solutions, who invest in renewable energies. And it absolutely makes sense because we have global champions in Austria here. They are acting on a global market with their technologies and with their expertise. But in Austria, one main challenge really is that energy is too cheap. And for a mass market, there are so many people who just simply do not care about energy. Although I think it's common sense and many people know climate change is a real big problem for everybody of us. Yeah.
It's interesting because you have to tell me that energy, that the problem is that energy is too cheap. I mean that's from a consumer's perspective, that's not a problem. That's the desired state actually, right? And that's basically so it is a challenge basically for startups to innovate because of the cheap energy.
So the startups, they're developing new technologies and they're trying to find out, so where's a business model, where's a market. And for example, in the field of e-mobility, it absolutely makes sense, especially for companies, to invest in an electric car because for them it's cheaper because also of the funding they receive at the moment. Yeah.
I understand. And what do you see on a regulatory side? I mean, we know that energy is a highly regulated market. Based on your experience, what would be the kind of so if you could talk to a regulator, what would be that you would kind of expect them to take more focus on?
Within the green energy package, we've got now a new directive from the European Commission, which gives us new freedom how to organize energy communities. And it was very interesting. We had a workshop on Monday afternoon, and there was one expert from the Netherlands. Yeah, and he said, okay, he's a physicist, yeah, but now he studies right, because he has to solve a lot of legal questions around energy communities. Yeah, so I think we would like to have these regulatory sandboxes. Maybe you know them from other industries, to develop and to try out new business models, new services, and then give feedback to the regulator how to change the regulation for that energy communities.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's talk a little bit about blockchain. So how should you say? Like I think it's fair to say that the last 2 years, blockchain technology is more and more going mainstream, and it's clearly is a big important facilitator for energy transition. What do you see right now? Like, why is actually change not happening quickly enough? Or maybe you have a different perspective on that.
I see two things. I would like to name here two examples. The first one we saw right here now in the presentation. So we and my family, we have an electric car, but it's really a pain if you travel a longer distance to find the right charging facility. Yeah,
and it's super fragmented.
Absolutely, yeah. To have here an easy solution would be really great, the first thing. And the second thing, and here we talk about emerging countries or developing countries which do not have that kind of infrastructure than we have here. So start to build here microgrids with the control done by blockchain technology. I think this is a very, very interesting use case.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And maybe the last question I have to you is, what is your most controversial thought on renewables?
There's one argument, and this is mainly spread by the automotive sector. So when people or studies say that an electric car produces more CO2 emissions than a car with fossil fuels. Yeah? And so I have one dream, is that in the future we really have mobility on demand services. So, which means when you want to travel somewhere, you just open up an app and enter some data, and 10 minutes later, an autonomous driving car picks you up and brings you somewhere. And the fleet of these autonomous driving cars, this fleet is controlled by artificial intelligence. So this would mean we would need less cars, because we know that the CO2 emissions, they are in the car production and not more of them, and not in the driving. So if we can reduce the number of cars and the production, this would also reduce CO2 emissions.
Okay, another bonus question from my side. So with all your insights and overarching through all these areas of technologies, what is it your genuine passion? Like what really drives you in doing what you're doing?
Here at this conference, I'm a co-organizer and some kind of a program manager. And my impulse and what drives me is that I would like to engage people. I would like to bring people together to initiate new projects, and I would like to make an impact in the community. Community, sorry, that's what drives me. Yeah.
So you want to see the change in energy and how we consume energy, and
I would like to be part of the change.
Great, thank you very much.